So in this video, we're going to take a look at the brand new lineup from Callaway, and it's in their driver category. So last year we saw the Paradigm, a 360-degree carbon head, which was quite different to what we've seen from any other brand and from them previously. Now we've got a little bit of an updated version. Paradigm AI Smoke is what it's called. We've got 4 heads to take a look at. We're going to talk a little bit about each of these heads. We're obviously going to hit them, test them, and give you some feedback of the data and my personal thoughts. So quickly talk a little bit about the heads and an overview of each of these heads. So we'll start off with the Smoke Max. So this is probably going to be the most popular for a lot of golfers. Small weight at the front of the head. Then we've got this weight on this movable, or in this track that is obviously movable into heel to toe to neutral, so you can play around with that weight in that particular driver. We then move into the Max D, so a little bit more of a longer profile head, a weight at the back of the driver. We lose the weight at the front, solid at the back, fixed, not movable, a little bit more of a draw bias product and maximising forgiveness in that particular head. And then we move into the Triple Diamond, which is obviously a more compact head. 2 fixed weights which actually can change front to back, so if you want to lower that launch spin, you can do that in that driver. The 4th driver is the Max Fast. As I say, I've not got that as a sample. It's going to be quite a niche product, that, so very light head, very light shaft, very light grip, maybe for the senior golfer who's just really trying to create a lot of club head speed and get some maximum distance. Okay, so let's start hitting some shots. So we're going to start off with the Smoke in Max, so the one with the movable weight at the back. So just first instincts quickly on the look of the sole of the club. We see this forged carbon sole that we see, we obviously saw in Paradigm last year. This year it's like a lighter grey colour with a really sort of like marbly effect on it. I think it looks really cool, very, very different in the bottom of the golf club. You flip that over into the top of the head, and I think this is where, for me, it looks stunning and a better looking golf club than Paradigm, in my opinion. We see this real beautiful carbon come through, gloss carbon, a little bit more of a grey, matte grey sort of front section to the head, but beautiful carbon. I love that look of that driver. And sitting it into that playing position behind the ball, it looks stunning, it looks quality. We've just got that AI Smoke logo just in the heel side of the golf club there. And, you know, first instincts there for me, I always look at how the club sits behind the golf ball, the shaping of the head, quite long from front to back. Obviously, this is the Max. Maximising forgiveness is what we're going to talk a little bit about, and the theme around these new drivers from Callaway, but sits really nice and square there. This is a 9-degree head. We've got the little V logo on the top as a little bit of an alignment aid. Okay, felt pretty good that. A little bit slightly high toe, but felt nice strike. A little bit of a different sound to that. 111 clubhead speed, ball speed 160. So as you maybe have noticed in previous video, I'm now going to be starting for all my driver reviews using exactly the same shaft and exactly the same grip. So huge call Aventus TR Velocore 6 in an X with a Golf Pride MCC +4 mid-size grip, which is my sort of spec. So just trying to keep my reviews as equal as I can in terms of the playing length, the shaft, and also the grip. So we're just really testing the head differences here now, which is important. That's a good strike. Just a little bit up that right-hand side. Beautiful flight there. A little bit on that toe side strike. Yeah, some pretty decent numbers to kick things off. So let's get into the nitty gritty now, and the main talking point around these new Callaway drivers is the AI face. We've seen AI face before. We had a supercomputer that generated that sort of ripple effect on the club face at the back of it, which helps you get little sort of sweet spots in and around that club face. We've now gone into, or Callaway have now gone into real golfers. They've gained enough sort of data of lots of golfers, and we've got a different face for each of these models of drivers, which is the really important part. So typically the golfer who's going to go maybe into this club or even the Max D will have a slightly different delivery than the player who's probably going to play that Triple Diamond. So the strike patterns on the club face will sort of change around. So the faces are changing as per the typical delivery from hundreds of thousands of swings that Callaway have analysed in their data. So this is then when AI now creates a face as per the driver. Okay, that's again decent strike. Good ball speed, touch more up the left there, just trying to start that little right one, just touching that 300-yard mark. So some good, pretty decent numbers to kick things off there. Now, looks of it, as I mentioned, big fan. Really like the look of that beautiful carbon shape. I mean, some people like that, some people might not. I really like that. I think that's a stunning look behind the golf ball. The sound of that, again, is that typical carbon sort of sound, slightly sort of muted, a little bit deader sort of sound and feel to that, with that extra bit of carbon there. So forged carbon again, but now because they've got some internal titanium structure there now, they're actually creating more carbon and it's lighter in that material. So 15% lighter than we saw in last year's Paradym. Big saving of weight, which of course they're going to redistribute and make this club more forgiving. MOI, huge talking point across the whole face. Distance, interestingly, isn't a big talking point from Callaway in this year. And I think you're going to see this through a few of the brands, to be honest. Forgiveness is a huge talking point. It's a strong ball flight. That was a bit toe, yeah, I could feel that, but distance-wise done really quite nicely. Moving back into the head, obviously we've got adjustable neck sleeve, Callaway OptiFit. We've seen that in many generations. Fantastic sleeve in my view, you know, changing that loft and a little bit of that sort of lie angle to help with certain shot shapes. So you've got all that adjustability in there as per usual. As I say, we've got a fixed front weight and then this movable weight at the back. So obviously we can move that into heel toe. We see the words draw and fade. I would probably be more matching that up to certain strike patterns, to be honest, for golfers during a fitting. So as you'd expect, some nice adjustability there to sort of dial in again through that fitting environment. But very confident, inspiring head, as I say, from that front to the back of the driver, they're a bit more elongated. Does fill you with that confidence, and obviously we can get that weight back. That's 15% lighter carbon, putting that weight elsewhere. It's a nice ball flight, just working on that left. Really helps to increase that MOI number, so again, that forgiveness level. Availability wise in these, we've got a 9 degree, a 10.5 and a 12, and all those three lofts are available in both right and left hand. Right, so switching the shaft now over into the Max D head. So D stands for draw. So this is their most forgiving head out of all of the heads that we are sort of looking at. Very much stretched now from that front to the back. So big elongated head, huge confidence filler. You sit that down by that golf ball, and we've got this fixed weight to the back. So shoving that as far back as they possibly can get it, again, helps to increase that MOI and that forgiveness levels. Putting it down there, it's a pretty big footprint down by that golf ball. Now, this is a 10.5 head. Now, it is available in a 9, 10.5 and a 12. Again, unfortunately, I've got a 10.5. I haven't got a 9, which would be obviously my preference of loft. So it's a little bit more loft than what I would play with. Oh, that's a nice shot to kick things off there. Obviously a little bit of a higher ball flight there with that loft, so I might not maximise my ball speed as much as I would do with a lower lofted driver. Again, confidence filling behind that golf ball. We've got all the same technology. Now don't get me wrong, when it says D, draw, and Callaway saying this is going to help you to hit a draw, it's going to help you not solve a problem. Obviously your swing delivery will dictate whether you hit a draw or not, more than what a bit of weighting in the club head is going to do. But it does help to maybe reduce, and probably a better phrase, if you're hitting a left to right shape or a slice, it'll slightly help you to reduce it, okay? You've got to do your swing work as well. Ooh. Right, that's the last one with a D. That was a tester. Hit that a little bit low heel, squeeze up that left, a little bit low, cutty back towards sort of target. Okay, so shaft now moved over into the triple diamond head. So we're seeing a little bit more of a compact sort of player's head, as may sometimes call it. So 450cc head, so 10cc smaller than what we're seeing in the other models. When you put that down by the golf ball, we do sort of see that a little bit more of a compact squat sort of look, not quite as long from that front to the back in that driver. Sits a little bit more neutral to slightly open in its appearance. Sometimes a better player doesn't like to see that ball go left. Weight's very centered, obviously got a weight at the front, weight at the back. Two different weights there which we can switch around to create different maybe launches and spin conditions depending on what you're wanting to get out of this driver. We lose on the top now that alignment aid, so it's a bit more of a slightly cleaner look. We've still obviously got all that carbon there, grey face, grey front section with that beautiful gloss carbon at the back. This looks stunning in my eyes. I love the shape of this driver. Again, 9-degree head. Oh, that's a bomber. That's a nice flight. decent strike. So we may sort of tend to sort of see a slightly lower spin characteristics with the triple diamond against maybe the Max and the Max D, with not as much weight obviously as far back, helps to maybe get a little bit more of a forward flight with a little bit lower on that spin characteristics. Ooh, that's a touch low in the face, but that's come out extremely straight. I was actually quite central. It felt a little bit slow. It's come out a touch low on the launch. So not quite maximising my carry distance there, but ball speed is really good, nearly 165. So the two weights, we've got a 2 gram weight and a 14 gram weight. So at the moment, I've got the 2 gram weight at the front and the 14 gram at the back. So I'm making this in its like more forgiving option in this triple diamond. Maybe like a little bit higher launch, a little bit higher on that sort of spin in comparison if I switch those weights around. So again, it depends on your delivery, your strike patterns, your launch conditions. Obviously we've got loft to play around with next sleeve. Again, we can change loft to dial that in as well. I have got a direct head-to-head video between this Smoke triple diamond against the Paradigm, last year's Paradigm triple diamond. Maybe go and check that video out. That will come in out. It might not be out now if you're watching this straight away as this video's launched, but it'll soon be coming out. So subscribe, hit that bell icon, and you will get a notification of when that video lands. Ooh, just leaked up the right a little bit with that one. Strike was very nice. Yeah, it's really like, I think just the look of it behind the ball suits my eye a little bit more. Feels very comfortable to me there. Really like the feel of that. If you'd like me to do a separate video on just playing around with the weights in this triple diamond, you know, front and back, or even in the Max driver with heel to toe, and then also playing around with the different options in the neck sleeve and seeing what it does to flight, spin, start, direction of the golf ball, just drop me a comment down below. Let me know your thoughts on that, and I can do a separate video on that. Oh yeah, I mean, I'm really enjoying that. That's a beautiful ball flight. Feels very, very good, very solid. So for me, quite an impressive lineup there. Is it any longer than Paradigm? Again, maybe a video and the direct one for the triple diamonds from last year's models. This year's model will probably just show you that. But I think forgiveness wise, I think that just feels a little bit more friendlier, I would say, against previous models. Okay, so quick look at the dispersion rings there. You can see the Max in the white, the blues, the triple diamond, the orange there is the Max D, so the most forgiving. Obviously it wasn't the right loft for me, hence why that's probably come up a little bit shorter, just losing a little bit of ball speed with extra loft, bit too high on the flight for me. The triple diamond there, it felt more comfortable to me, just prefer the head shape for me as a personal preference. Club head speed, all pretty identical as you expect, same length of shaft, same weight, everything like that. Ball speed wise, you can see triple diamond's giving me a little bit more ball speed on that particular test. Launch a little bit lower with triple diamond. Spin quite similar actually to the Max driver, with the obviously the Max D being a little bit more with that extra little bit of loft, to be honest. So some decent numbers. It's numbers that I'd expect, numbers that I've seen in previous models in a way, but maybe just that forgiveness levels. Again, maybe multiple hits there. You go and test this yourself on those slight miss hits. That's what Callaway are really sort of saying. You get some extra distance on those different strikes in and around that club face. Appreciate you watching the video. There's going to be loads more videos coming your way with brand new products. So if you haven't subscribed, appreciate you doing it as always, and hit that bell, get notifications any future videos. Hopefully catch up with you all very soon.